fry. It's pretty big fish to fry. My. It's pretty big fish to fry. It's pretty big fish to fry. My. Last weekend I barely thought I'd make it out alive. Told myself I'd take time and give the world a try. I was alive.
Oh, everybody. It is Tuesday, October the 10th, 2017. You're checking out the premier sports and beer podcast coming to you from all over the great country of ours, but roots in New Jersey. It is the Low and Outside podcast. Thanks for taking the time, everybody. Check it out, lowandoutside.com. We have an enormous show to get to tonight, so we're going to waste absolutely no time.
Why don't you go back home to your street malls and drink your Zimas and Smirnoff Ices? Oh, yeah! The greatest beer in all Zipper!
Send me from the bar.
Yeah, I like cold beverage, yeah. I like cold beverage, yeah. I like cold beverage, yeah. Cause I'm feeling kind of parched. Stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge.
All right, so tonight I'm coming at you with the end of this Sweetwater Brewing Company sampler that I've had for a while. It is one of two beers that remain in my refrigerator right now. It's the Extra Pale Ale 420. So we're going to throw that up there and pass it on to Denville, New Jersey. And Bubs, what do you got, bud?
I am like you. I'm at the end. I'm going for Magnify pickup tomorrow. I got Sunshine City Green Bench IPA. It is the last of my Florida beers that I brought back. I think Magnify's putting out a stout tomorrow, so I'm going to – or a porter. So I'm going to actually not review an IPA next week on the show, and I'll be pretty excited about that. But a nice little, refreshing Florida tropical IPA type of jazz from these guys.
Good stuff. Nation's Capital, Yampa, what do you got?
Hey, Jeff.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm awesome.
I miss you guys. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Like all good sports and beer podcasts, I'm drinking a fine Sauvignon Blanc.
Of course you are. From
the Marlborough region. Goes well with fish, creamy pasta sauce, and Low and Outside podcast.
Nice. And your favorite game, Miller or Coors Light? Sean, Chicago, what do you got?
Jeff, there's a beer in the Miller Coors portfolio that's been doing it the same way for 140 years. Do you know what beer that is?
No. Why don't you tell us?
Oh, the Banquet.
The Banquet beer.
Nice.
Such a good beer.
Do you know
that is one of my favorites.
What they say on the with the Banquet beer?
No.
That luck is hard work residue. Luck is hard work.
Is that on the label?
It's underneath the top. If you open enough
Nice.
of them, you find one.
I don't open them up. I normally get them at a bar.
Is that like the Snapple? Like some of it's true, but some of it's false. You have to figure out which is real.
It's all true.
Gotcha. Yeah, but you had sent a picture to us, something that I guess Molson was doing, right?
Oh yeah, they're doing the original 6. Only in Canada, I think. Molson's doing the original 6 logos on the bottles. Sean,
That's
help?
correct.
Can we get some help on that?
Say it again, Sean. I missed it.
It is only in Canada.
Okay, so we got to get up there and get those. All right. That looks cool. I like that. All right, let's go.
Who cares?
All right, so it's our favorite segment. Who cares? And
I'm going to stop you right there, Jeff, and I'm actually going to leave this off. I'm going to leave this off this week because you are in some kind of mood right now that I'm not sure what it is, but it's not a good one. So I'm going to need you to take a 5. I'm going to kick us off here.
No, this is a good one. This is a good one. So,
Yep.
so don't take the first one because it'll make the whole thing. So if you
I'll take the last one.
All right, go ahead.
Wait, that's weird, Yampo. You waited a whole 3 minutes to cut somebody off today.
Well, he deserved it because he's been very curt on the whole intro here. So go ahead, Jeff.
We have a full agenda. Full agenda.
Not that I noticed.
Okay.
It's pretty jam-packed.
Are you going to go or do you want me to go?
I'm going to go. I'm going to start this week's Who Cares with Jeff did a Tough Mudder last week, and he's wearing the shirt.
I did it last weekend.
All right, that was the interruption.
Worth it.
Who cares?
All right. So this last, I guess it was yesterday that it hit. Dolphins offensive line coach resigned after being caught doing cocaine on a video that he sent to a hooker.
First of all, you don't
Allegedly.
he didn't get caught. There's no getting caught. He filmed himself doing that.
He did film himself. Well,
that was
actually,
not a security camera. That like that was a selfie.
We have undoctored audio of the actual video. So here we
go.
Oh. Hey, babe. Miss you. Thinking about you. How about me going to a meeting and doing this before I go? And there's those big rains falling, but I miss you. I miss you a lot. What do you think? Crazy? No, babe. It's gonna be a while before we can do this again. Because I know you're gonna keep that baby. But I think about you when I do it. I think about how much I miss you, how high we got together, how much fun it was. So much fun. The last little bit before I go to my meeting. Is that fucked up, babe? You think? I think not. I wish I was looking at this.
What a maniac.
Yeah.
Seriously.
The best part is if you close your eyes, it sounds like something I would have done.
I don't know what that means. It sounds bad.
When that story broke, like I was, you know, Sean, you were talking about like security cameras before. So I read the headline and I was like, oh my God, there's video of it. Like, how grainy must this video be? Like, it's just white substance. Like, it's probably not going to be very good. I clicked the link and I'm like, oh my God, he's filming himself in HD.
Couple flaws with the video. Couple flaws.
It's not 4K.
Yeah, the lines,
I wish
the
it
lines
was
were
4K.
Yeah, the line assemblage was pretty subpar. They were
no wonder why Miami's line sucks.
Yeah, they were pretty subpar lines. He's still using like a dollar bill, which you got to use at least you got to use a 20 minimum.
I think it was a 20.
Was it a 20?
All right, I don't really want to break down the actual
this is going
line
on
of
bad
drugs
path.
here, but how about the fact that the guy was making like $2.5 million?
That's insane.
Like one of the highest paid assistant coaches in the league, and he just flushes it away because he wanted to send a video of himself doing coke to a hooker.
The office.
Like,
he's 56 years old.
I mean, I want to party with him, but other than that, the guy's a moron.
No, I don't want to do anything with this guy. He's old school stupid.
I'm okay.
At 56, how does that not kill you instantly?
Well, it killed his career.
He's built up a resistance.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Whatever. Hey, Adrian Peterson was traded today.
Hit it.
It's awesome.
Who cares?
Okay, good. This one's probably important to you too. Dwayne Wade was named the 5th starter for the Cavs.
Who cares? This is a great segment.
Just over and over and over again. Jamel Hill. She was suspended by ESPN for a second social media violation. She tweeted that if anybody was upset with the Cowboys and Jerry Jones saying that everybody had to stand for the anthem, that they should just boycott the sponsors of the Cowboys. Where do you fall on this? Like, is it freedom of speech? Does the employer have the right to suspend her? Is it all just junk? Like, is it just ESPN like covering their ass? What do you think?
That's just them not being able to suspend her for calling Trump a white supremacist. And then they got a second opportunity, so they decided they could do something.
This is right up Sean, because Sean, you got to hit this one.
I can't actually.
Yeah, we don't want your Twitter to go aflame.
But do you think it's junk, or do you think that they're legitimately? Do you agree with Brett, or do you think that they're just suspending him for, suspending her for what actually happened? Oh, white man,
Stop!
Perfect timing.
White man,
My eyes deceive me.
as we're talking about Jamel Hill getting suspended for telling everybody to boycott the Cowboy sponsors. What do you think? You think it's a legitimate suspension, or do you think that it's junk?
Hey, I actually watched that show tonight, and
Can you turn off the spotlight behind you?
No, because I don't want to get up from my couch, to be honest. But
You watched the 6?
so I watched it tonight. I actually thought it was pretty good without her. Through the suspension, I actually think that she was just trying to get herself fired because she was about to get removed regardless because the show was terrible. So I actually think that they had 2 new guys in there tonight. One guy was familiar. I can't remember who it was, and they had they interviewed some people, but the show was so much better without her. I actually think it was she had nothing to lose because she's going to be off air soon anyway.
I don't know. ESPN's like doubled down on that show. Like I feel like they love like what is it, Michael Smith?
Michael Smith, yeah.
I think they're both kind of talentless, to be fair. But I just think it was interesting that ESPN like totally went haywire in suspending Bill Simmons in the last bit of his stint there when he took on the NFL. But you know, it just seems fishy. I don't know. I don't know that it's racial. I just think it's just wacky. I mean, she's got the black woman sportscaster thing going for her, so it's like she's like got every possible card that if somebody was to actually discipline her, she could say it's because of, you know.
And the sponsors that she called out, they're all sponsors of ESPN. So you guys probably already mentioned that, but
not
you can't do that. It's unacceptable.
It is. I get ESPN's point here, but
I don't.
You don't. You really don't.
No, I don't. I don't get it. Like, it wasn't. She really didn't say anything that outlandish.
It wasn't about that. She was touching the money. Can't touch the money.
You don't.
Whatever. It's in Who Cares for a reason because I think it just doesn't fucking matter.
But you don't see that. You don't see as to why. Like if.
I mean, I get it. I worked at a league and I understand it. You don't touch the money. You're right, but I don't think. I mean, what did Jerry Jones really think that no one was? Or did ESPN really think that no one was going to say anything? I don't know. I just don't think it's worth getting suspended over. But whatever.
It seemed to me though, Brett. Like I think you're right. I think there was more of a platform to suspend her over the Trump is a white supremacist comments than there were over this.
You see how disciplined Sean is? He is not even. He's on mute.
He's muted.
So disciplined.
Smart man.
That is great HR over there at the MC.
Whatever. God damn it.
Who cares?
Baseball is right around the corner.
Oh, I didn't realize the ALDS was 7 games. Fucking JP.
Well, it's crazy because after the Mets won 100 games this year.
Yeah. Tickle my fucking Venmo, Johnny.
And not good.
I think you owe Brett and I a hundo each, which is key for me because I am in a serious.
That would have been the worst bet I ever made if that was true.
Man,
We got to go back to the tapes.
I can do for we don't. You bet it.
Well, you also owe us some Mad Dog there, Jeffy boy.
Totally. And when Paulie gets it, picks it up for me in Newark, we'll do it.
Baseball.
So the Cubbies got rained out today. All that's left is the Cubs and the Nats and the Yanks and the Indians.
Take that hat off.
Fun way.
City of champs. Dodgers and Astros moved on.
Good call by Paul.
What did he call? Did he
Zona and the Sox?
Yeah, not so much. Good thing our baseball guy's not here to defend himself. What do you think, Brett? Do you think that the Cubs or the Nats are coming out of that series?
I think the Cubs are coming out of that series. The Nats, they're doing typical Washington stuff where they're like awesome during the regular season. This happens to the Capitals all the time.
It's every sport that they play, right?
Yeah, but so hold on. I can actually address this because I live here year round. I actually root for the Nationals as a National League team.
That definitely gives you credibility.
Yeah. Now, okay. What
Thanks.
now?
Go
What
ahead.
do you have to
Sean?
say?
Hey, Sean. Shut the fuck up. Not so fast, Pat Sajak. They have had an issue all year long with the bats. All year they've had an issue with the bats, and the pitching has been the Nats bats. The pitching has been great, but they have not been producing runs, and they have lost, I think, their last 9 playoff games by a total of 12 runs, and a bunch of them were 1-run games. It's ridiculous. They just what happened the other night in the bottom of the 8th is a total outlier. So,
Yes, it is. You're right. And on the flip side of that, oddly enough, the Cubs aren't like an offensive juggernaut.
That's
but
true.
They're finding ways to score runs and win games
They're
despite not
producing
being-
runs.
They are.
Manufacturing runs, I think, is the baseball term.
One might say that. One might say that.
Like the Marlins of '99.
I'm going to be really excited to see Cubs Dodgers. That should be a fun little NLCS. So, and then obviously on the other side, Houston. I want them to take on the Yankees.
Yeah, let's go over to the other side. So you got, we haven't been on the air since the whole, non-replay gate that Joe Girardi found himself in. You were pretty fired up.
I was fuming
over that. Have you calmed down at all?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've calmed down. I think it's probably on
2-2.
Yeah, but I think it's unfortunate that's probably going to cost him his job. And I don't know if it's going to cost him his job in the fact that the Yankees aren't going to re-sign him, or it's just I don't even know if the Yankees were going to re-sign him if Girardi even wanted to stay in New York. So I'm not really sure. They might do something like they did with Joe Torre and offer him a contract, but offer him a pretty shitty contract that he has no choice but to deny. Because Joe Torre didn't get fired. Joe Torre didn't re-sign.
Yeah, he walked away.
Let me ask you this question, because we've talked about this with football, both college and pro, more so pro. Don't the Yankees or all baseball teams have somebody who's supposed to be watching this, who's supposed to tell? I find it hard. I'm having a tough time putting this all on Girardi. He's down in the field. He's in the moment. He's trying to manage a game. There's got to be someone who's supposed to call down and be like, you need to review this play. You need to challenge it now.
Yeah, I think there is.
So somebody panicked under the pressure. It might not have been Girardi. Somebody was unsure.
And it's weird because there was 27 million people watching who were very sure of what happened.
Yeah.
You're more sure.
Girardi obviously is remorse. He was crying after the game last night. He's obviously upset about it because he feels like shit. They could have won the series last night, theoretically, right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't know how everything's going to shake out after that happens.
I just have a tough time putting it all on Girardi, and you're like, oh, he's going to lose his job. Yet 2 weeks ago, we're sitting here talking about how this team had no business making the playoffs. They already exceeded expectations making the wild card. Now they're in the ALDS. And now they've pushed the game to a Game 5 against the Indians, who are the best team in baseball. So I find it hard to say he's de facto getting fired because of one call.
No, I completely agree with you, Dave.
Game 7 of the ALDS.
I'm sorry. This is JP. I think it's going to be a 5 or a 6 game series.
It can't be. It can only be.
Thanks for the input, stupid.
But I think it's laughable that anybody would insinuate that this should cost him his job. I don't think that's what you're saying. I think what you're saying is this may be what causes either him to walk away or for them to say that this might be the end of the time. Like, this is not a fireable offense.
I don't. I mean, if they did, I would think that'd be insane. I could probably see George doing that.
Yeah, putting in Betances is fireable. That's a fireable offense
in any situation. But my question to you is, and you're the baseball guy, brother.
I am the baseball guy.
Who are you bringing in that's better?
Right. Who are you bringing in that's better? And before anybody wants to chant, Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly
Donnie Baseball.
Don Mattingly didn't get the job 7 years ago. So
he wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. Oh, so now he's ready?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think that there is anybody better out there than Girardi, and I've certainly had my problems with Girardi over the years. But when it comes down to it, I can't think of anybody better. And he's taken a team the past, 2, 3, 4 years that really did not have. They had big price names and free agents, but not actual true good talent to compete with the top dogs in each league. And he managed the hell out of those teams.
I can't see anybody having the word is managed the A-Rod situation as a manager any better than George Girardi did. And I think you're managing these young kids. I can't see anybody doing it better than he did. The issue that I think that I've heard, to go back to the replay, is there's apparently a tremendous amount of animosity between he and Sanchez. And Sanchez was saying to challenge the call, and Girardi, the word is that Girardi was being headstrong, that he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to give Sanchez his due. I think that's insane.
That's got to be garbage.
I think it's insane, but there are legitimate media outlets that are reporting it. So it's not, you can't just dismiss it completely.
Barstool is not a legitimate media outlet.
I hate to break it to you, it is.
I don't.
Did Jamel Hill say that?
She said you should boycott anything that has to do.
Yeah, like if that was Jorge Posada that was calling for that, he definitely reviews it right away.
Harold Reynolds who said that.
I mean, maybe he does, but I mean, Jeff, you want to talk about fireable, not fireable offense? I can't imagine Joe Girardi is the type of person who would have a personal vendetta against somebody so much so that they would jeopardize their chances of winning a playoff game just to stick it to that person.
That's preposterous.
I agree with you. I'm just telling you that that's what's being reported. I think it's insane.
No, it's fake news.
There's a lot of stuff that's fake news.
But anyway,
Girardi did get fired from the Marlins by doing something awful.
He won Manager of the Year.
Yeah, but he got in a fight with the owner of the Marlins when he was behind the dugout.
You never got in a fight with your boss?
No, I'm not. I don't have big enough balls to do that.
No, he doesn't fight with Sean. but realistically, Mike goes back to my point, Brett. Who are you bringing in that's better? Who are you bringing?
I can't imagine that you are bringing in somebody.
And let's look at this way. Like, we're talking about this as if they're lose Game 5. Like,
no, right. And then
what happens if they go out tomorrow night and CC throws like 8 strong and they win?
Yeah, I'll be shocked if they beat Kluber with Sabathia. But listen, anything's possible. That's why you play the game. But I think the thing that sucks too, on top of that, look, the Mets are looking for a manager, and the Red Sox might fire John Farrell. Do you really want Joe Girardi? Do you really want to let Girardi go and let him go across town to Queens or manage the Red Sox?
Not only that, there's not a more fit manager, physically fit.
I agree. Him and I have very similar workout routines.
I mean, let's talk about managerial bodies. Terry Francona, it's just been a slippery slope for him since he left Boston. Please tell me he wasn't sick.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but he is fat.
I can tell you one thing about Girardi. He certainly would not end up on a Monday morning having a video dropping of him doing lines of cocaine in the Yankee manager clubhouse, sending it.
Hey, babe.
I know you're going to keep that baby.
Like that wouldn't happen with Girardi. So
crazy.
All right, even better question though: how many has he hid of his team that have not hit the media?
Well, those guys aren't on the team anymore.
Good point.
I was in a suite in the David Cohn suite, perfect game suite. Was that my birthday, Brett? You were there when Dwight Gooden came in?
Yeah.
And he was so high.
Ooh, Doc was coked out.
Brett and I looked at each other and go, he is so high right now. I wonder if he has any extra.
Seriously, how many I do cocaine references can you make in one podcast?
We got a lot of time.
It's not good for you.
We're gonna lose all our fucking sponsors.
Good point.
All 0 of them.
Not a good look. There's a reason why you don't have the $1 Million Man segment tonight. Apparently, you're coked out of your mind. You've lost all your money.
Just wait till we talk about that later. Holy shit!
Just yuck. What do you think about tomorrow? Do you see? I know you don't see it happening, Brett, but do any of you see CC throwing a big game tomorrow?
I think if CC can replicate what he did the other night, I mean, you get 5 good innings out of them. I mean, we look at last night. We won the battle of the bullpen. It was like the Indians' worst nightmare. We got on their guy early. He was out after an inning or so, and it was like that was their worst case scenario. If we can have CC give us 5-6 good innings, I think we can get a run or 2 off of Kluber. We can do it. I think the Browns have a better winning percentage when it comes to winning a game than the Indians do at winning clinchers.
A weird stat. But okay.
That's an actual stat. You can stat check.
What's it mean though? 0?
The Browns have a 3-to-1 better chance to win a game than Cleveland does closing out series.
Oh, you mean this year, like going forward?
No. I mean since since '99.
Very confused.
Okay. New Cleveland Browns, not the old Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh, I see why it's confusing. I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Shut up, Yampo.
So wait. Like, how much does it cost to the consumer? Is really the question.
Well, I think the other question is if I, do those 2 teams play in stadiums that are like adjacent to each other or like next to each other?
They are, aren't they?
Or are they like
are they back to
and
back?
belly to belly?
The worst. You're the absolute worst. What about Judge? Because Judge has had like this
shit series,
this enormous season, right? With the expectations that are just out of control. He really hasn't hit the ball all that well. He had a huge double the other night that drove in a couple runs. He's played a decent outfield. I mean, he misplayed 1 ball, but then he robbed the home run the other night too. Do you see, like, if it comes up in a big spot and he's there?
Give me his bat.
Is he looking at strike 3 again, or is he? Do you feel that he's got that, that it factor that we've seen from some of these great Yankees going forward?
I don't know if he's got like great Yankee it yet. He's still in his rookie season. But give me his
big hit, but he won't get you a hit when you need it.
Yeah, give me his bat. Listen, put his bat there. I don't really care. He's been this way all season. The thing about playoffs and playoff baseball is
playoffs.
All of a sudden, you take a 4-game sample size and you go, well, he's been terrible. Like, nobody says that during the season of a 4-game series, like a wraparound Friday through Monday. And then on Tuesday, they're like, this guy stinks. It's just like, he had a bad couple games.
They certainly, but you know what? They certainly pitch differently in the playoffs. It's a different approach. Like, you're getting different pitches on a 3-1 count or a 2-2 count than you would on, May 15th than you are in October.
Sure, the whole game's different.
You had said, Yampo, that playoff baseball is underrated. That you legitimately hang like every pitch means something.
I love playoff hockey. That's my number one. Will unequivocally always be my number one. But playoff baseball is really creeping up there because I don't get to watch a lot of Yankee games. There's a rat. Brett's holding a rat.
It's gross, like Rizzo.
I don't get to watch a lot of Yankee games. So when I get to watch them, it's now the playoffs, and it's like, holy shit! I'm literally like every at bat is like critical. I mean, you just look at how big Gardner's at bat was to start off that inning in the wild card game. You talked about it a little bit. It's like every at bat is critical. Every pitch is critical. Do I think we look at Aaron Judge when he comes up as this guy's got to hit a home run? I don't know, but it's not like Tino Martinez, not like Paul O'Neill back in the glory days where you're like, this guy, he's going to hit a clutch hit, or Godzilla, or Sarah making Sean laugh during a show. Like that shit is like that always happens,
Somebody tweeted yesterday that about Aaron Judge, and they were talking about like one of his double or something like that, and how great he's been, and he's their MVP candidate. But the fact that Gary Sanchez is the better hitter of the two, and I don't necessarily disagree with that.
It's not necessarily wrong. I think Sanchez is, in a lot of ways, taking that back seat to him this year. With everybody going into this year expected Sanchez to be the guy.
And he still hit 30-something odd home runs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And that's a backseat.
And that's a backseat.
Yeah. To get back to tomorrow, I think the Yankees are going to need five good innings out of CC, maybe one or two extra, probably 5, and they're going to need everybody top to bottom to come up with some hits. You guys talked about it last week. Frazier, that lineup from top to bottom, everyone's capable of making hits and hitting the ball out of the park. Bird did it the other night in a clutch spot. They're going to need to produce some runs, and they're going to need a couple lucky bounces, I think, but they can do it. It's going to be a hostile environment, but they can do it.
I think so, Yampo. And I think what you're looking for is what my friend Bill Belichick says: do your job.
Okay.
He wouldn't know anything about that this year because the defense clearly isn't doing their job.
Yes, question from the audience. Go ahead.
Question from the audience, and maybe this is for Dwight Mann, since he's played every position on the baseball field in college. Why? Including the bench. The whole thing about playoff baseball that's fun, to me, is like you get like people, like guys are throwing 3 innings and then they're out, and then you move on, and like if all games were like that and you just had this elite force of like pitching that like everyone pitched every day but they only pitched an inning, like I'd be behind that. I think baseball
I said that like 6 weeks ago.
Oh, but I disagree. Right. I disagree. The length of the game is like, holy fuck, we get it. We're changing pitchers again. It's like, Christ almighty.
The question was for John Whites.
I think in the playoffs, you got to pull the string if a guy's struggling. I was really impressed with what Girardi did in the wild card playoff game. When Severino could only last a third of an inning. I mean, the way he managed that bullpen, that was outstanding. Yeah, it would be great if they did in the regular season, but the fact is, in the regular season, these games don't mean as much. Half the time, they're just trying to get through a game. I mean, every team loses 40 games. They win 40 games, and they say there's another 82 that are up for grabs. But
is that just like a sustainability, like a health thing for players?
Yeah, you can't pitch every game. I mean, I remember, when you pitch every game, you got that adrenaline coming out of the bullpen. You're in pain the next day. And adrenaline is a dangerous thing for a pitcher in the playoffs. I actually think that, like Matt Harvey pitching that 1 inning in the All-Star game 3 years ago is the reason that he needed Tommy John surgery. He came out throwing harder than he's ever thrown in his career for just 1 inning. And when you get amped up like that with the adrenaline, your body is doing something that's really not capable of doing, and it causes arm issues. Was
it adrenaline?
Yeah, I think adrenaline could really get injured from it. Yeah, right.
How many reps?
I heard from a reliable source about Harvey, by the way, that he's big. He's really, truly is into.
You were talking to TMZ? Shut up.
ESPN.
Wait, but what's stopping a GM? And this is why I'm not a general manager. But like, just get 9 closers.
It's called bullpenning.
Has Sean ever played baseball?
I don't think it's insane.
It's not. And I'll tell you what. Baseball's going that way, Sean. You might laugh, and I don't know if we'll ever see 9 guys in 9 innings, but
It'd be incredible.
it's going to go that way.
I said this like a month and a half ago. Like, why
No, you
can't?
didn't.
Yes, I did. I said if you're the Mets and you have that starting rotation, why don't each of those guys pitch 2 innings a day?
Yeah, well, you know, it was crazy too. 10 years ago or 15 years ago, if you had what happened with the Yanks in that wild card playoff game, you're like, oh, we'll start worrying about next season before you get the second out. And now these bullpens are so good that you're actually better off when you get to the bullpen, to Sean's point. You know,
Some
it's
team.
amazing.
Yankees pitchers last night didn't throw below 9. Relief pitchers didn't throw below 96 miles an hour.
Maybe they should just start throwing underhand to save their shoulders.
Good call. Good call. Like,
Floated.
weirdly,
Floated. Rowan Gardner.
pitcher's got a big butt.
And I'm telling you that I go to so many Cubs games. And Sean lives up in Wrigley. That game yesterday was so intense. It was amazing. Better than any football game you could go to. Better than any basketball game.
It was crazy.
So
It was different than any other game from that series too, which was interesting to me.
White man,
yeah, it was like a prize fight.
you're an outsider on the Yanks series because you're a Mets fan. How do you, if you had to pick one of those teams tomorrow, who are you taking?
Well, I look at the managers, and I do think Girardi is a great manager, despite the replay. That was hard for me to accept too. But Francona does have the edge over the Yanks in a way, right? He was the manager when they came back at 3-0 again.
That never happened.
I think Francona has the edge. He just had that Game 7 last year. He did a good job against the Cubs. I think it's easy to say the Cubs have the advantage, and I think that Kluber pitching coming off a really bad game is going to really pitch well.
Well, you just fucking answer the question.
I think that the Indians win, and they win
about last year's
convincingly.
World Series.
I never said that. Okay.
Well, Yampa, you probably know who Jay Bruce is now. He's destroying the Yankees.
Oh, fucking
Welcome to baseball, buddy.
touche.
Sean, money on the line. Who are you taking? Yanks or Indians?
What's that?
Money on the line. Who are you taking? Yanks or Indians?
I don't bet, but I'll take the Indians.
Okay. Yampo.
I'm gonna go with my heart, and I'm gonna go with the Yankees. I think they're gonna get it done.
Okay. Bobby.
All 100-1 Yankees tomorrow.
Is that an actual line?
No, they score 100 runs.
Maybe I will bet.
No, that's the. Hold on, let me get.
That's impressive.
Sean, do you have a line for me?
I'm
No,
getting
I
the
don't
line
bet.
right now, actually.
Hold on, I got one for you.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Fucking savage.
Do you hear that guy that married that got what's her name, the Kardashian pregnant recently? That rapper Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a lot. I was listening to his music because
You're a big fan.
I didn't know who he was, but I said, let me listen to his music. It's actually pretty good. And he was saying that, he says he does 3 lines like Adidas. And I was like, interesting. That's like the coach of the Dolphins, man. Dolphins guy did 3 lines like Adidas.
Yeah.
We'll never look at that Adidas emblem the same.
Wait, man. Just listen to the first 5 minutes of the show, and then we'll have this conversation again next time. Football, JP. Let's talk about the local.
So I work at the stadium, and I don't want to go really because I don't have a chance to watch a lot of football, but
Yampo, your team.
I don't even want to talk about them.
Your team is really bad.
We don't even have anybody. Is anybody playing?
Like, you're really bad. Like,
yeah.
Jets are so much better.
Yeah, I normally don't bet on the Giants, but I took them in my survivor pool, which this week was the first week of elimination. So unfortunately, I'm out and left a $17,000 pot on the table.
On the first week?
No, there's 4 weeks. You can buy back in the first 4 weeks, and then this was week 5.
So you bought back in 4 times.
No. I got 4 picks right, Dick.
Hang on.
I just don't know what to say about the Giants. They're a disaster. The Marshall experiment's over because there's no way they bring him back next year. It's not guaranteed money. So that all that hype and excitement I had in March was just fucking wasted. And they had 3 fucking tight ends in the 2-minute drill. Like, who's he throwing to? This is good. This is bad.
Well, look, here's the deal. Like, you had said that the Marshall experiment, that's fine, but I mean, there's no two people on this show more than you and I that talk about the offensive line. And
I know.
They just didn't freaking address it.
Nope.
They didn't address it.
And it
The
killed
thing
him.
is that Marshall's supposed to be good. The guy can't even catch. He's the only guy in football with 10 fingers and no hands.
It's funny.
I miss these so much. I am so happy they're
He's so.
How do you miss it?
I hate Marshall.
miss
Did the
it?
same
He
thing on the
tweeted it
Bears.
4 times.
Marshall did the same thing on the Bears. He did the same thing on the Jets. He just drops balls all the time. It's like the comparison to Girardi not doing the replay. He's terrible. Every team he's been on, he's been terrible. And by the way, I saw Brandon Marshall in Chicago when he was a Bear going into my favorite sushi place with a fur coat and mesh shorts to pick up his sushi to go.
You guys have a Nobu in Chicago?
It was a sushi doku.
Nice.
Sushi.
A fur
Shut your
coat and mesh
fucking-
shorts.
Listen, I disagree with the Marshall assessment. I think he's. I
thought
think
it was, yeah.
he's good. I think if he's in a good situation, I think he could have been an awesome number 2 for you. The problem is, your quarterback never had the time to throw anybody the ball. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. The team, it's over. It's over, Johnny. And the fact that these guys say we're still playing for a Super Bowl, like Landon Collins, I get it. Put your fucking pride on the shelf. It's over.
Here's my question. 'Cause
Yeah,
I asked
that
this
spread's 12 points next weekend.
Ugh, yuck. I asked this last week, and you were not here to answer the question. Who has more wins at the end of the year, the Jets or the Giants?
I just don't see the Giants getting much past 4, and the Jets already have 3. So I would imagine the Jets are going to pick up. I could see the Jets being like 6-10, 7-9.
God, if they're 7-9, I'll be so fucking
Angry?
I don't think the Giants win more than 2 games.
It's going to be
Now,
tough.
yeah.
I mean, they're going. They could pick up a win in San Francisco, I think.
I saw T.O. And Chad
saw that.
tweeted at them. Did you see
He's
that?
like, "Hey Giants, I'm available if you need a receiver."
They're like, hey, T.O., no shit.
Yeah. Why not?
But he get off from the Pizza Hut for the next 16 weeks.
But here's the thing: they literally just signed everybody off the practice squad. So it's like, okay, here we go. We got Rudolph out of fucking FSU who got put on the practice squad. Okay, he could do some shit, but it's just going to be bad. They can't run the ball. It's over.
Well, I had asked
the Jets have more wins. To answer your question,
I had asked you this question a couple weeks prior when I think they were 0-3.
Oh Christ!
I said, do they blow the whole thing up? And you said you don't think so. What do you think now?
Do they blow the whole thing up
at the end of the year?
I mean, McAdoo is not going anywhere. His first year, he went 11-5 and went to the playoffs. I think if anybody's got to go, Jerry Reese, it's time for him to fucking go. But he keeps himself alive on a fucking resuscitator with like.
You really think Ben McAdoo is gonna be the coach of the New York Giants next year?
Yeah, I do.
You really think that?
Because the Giants aren't the franchise that cuts coaches when they owe them money. They don't do it. They won't do it.
He's really bad, though.
I think Jim Harbaugh could be the next coach.
You know what? For all the animosity I have towards Jim Harbaugh, I would take him in a heartbeat in New York.
I would love the New York Booger Eaters.
Awesome. I'd root for the Giants if he came there, and I would.
Oh, we'd love to have you. You could switch, and you're already paying half of a PSL.
I feel bad for Eli. Eli needs to be on the bench out of safety.
They should trade him to Jacksonville. Trade him to Jacksonville.
Oh, not even kidding. Is there any? I don't know what his contract situation is at
He's
all.
got 2 more years.
But how much of it is guaranteed?
A lot.
So is there any possible way at the end of this year everybody goes, including the quarterback?
No.
Eli's great.
No way.
They draft a quarterback.
They'd have to draft someone who's a franchise quarterback.
If they don't win a fucking game, that's what they're gonna do.
No, but they got that guy Webb. They think could be the next Eli.
Yeah, come on. Hold on. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Here's one thing I just want to say, and I think everybody on this panel would agree with me, because all my Giants buddies who are legitimate Giants fans, listen, I got no animosity towards Eli. He's won 2 Super Bowls somehow. He's played well. But if we could go back in time, and you could somehow scoop Aaron Rodgers, that's like that guy. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. I think if you ask 30 fans of 30 different teams, I think at least 25 would tell you, I want Aaron Rodgers. Take Tom Brady out of the equation for a minute. Aaron Rodgers the guy throws the ball like a fucking rocket, and he cares, and he's passionate, and he can run. Eli Manning can't even run. Can't even fucking move.
So what's the point?
I don't really know what the point is. I
was thinking about that the other day, Yampo, after I was watching the Cowboys game. Like, Eli never could have won that game.
Yeah.
That Rodgers won.
Here's the point.
Unless somebody caught a ball off their
There's
helmet.
nobody coming out next year out of college that's going to be a franchise quarterback for the New York Football Giants. Maybe for your shithole fucking second-rate class citizen Jets team, maybe. But
That's right. You're totally in a position right now to knock any franchise in the league. Like,
first of all, football is not judged on a year-to-year basis.
okay, let's look at the entire.
I think it is.
That's why they have a Super Bowl.
No,
right?
let's look at the totality. Hold on. And I'm not going to go with the argument that most Redskins fans go with, which infuriates me, is when they suck every year for the last several years. How many Super Bowls you got? And then I had to remind them we have the same amount.
I'm not talking about that.
I'm not going there either. What I'm saying is you can't judge. Yeah, they fucked up. They're having a bad season, but you can't judge
Not
the
a bad
franchise.
It's a bad regime. You have not had a good regime since Jerry Reese took over. You got one draft pick right with the Odell Beckham pick, and to be fair, he's been a head case ever since. He's not addressed the offensive line. He went out and spent money to correct the defense that got really one of the most popular and successful head coaches in the history of your franchise fired. Every successful move that's been made was made by a prior administration. And then they brought this guy in to be the head coach, and he stinks on ice. Both of those guys need to go. And it's not a matter of the organization being somebody that sticks with their guys. They're not good. And I'm not sitting here and saying that they're not a better run franchise than the Jets. Historically, of course they are. But these two guys are not good. They need to go. And if I would bring them, I would get rid of both of them and start over. If you can get Harbaugh, you get Harbaugh. It's not even a fucking question.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you on Harbaugh, but I just don't see it happening. Giants don't like to do that shit. We'll see what happens. Whatever. This could go in 0-5 now. The Giants go, and who cares from now on?
I would love to see Eli get traded to a team with a great O-line that has a playoff shot and see how great he could really be. Because in his career, he's never really had a great O-line.
What are you talking about? The 07 team had one of the best offensive lines. Anyway, Jeff, go ahead.
How do you think Eli would do in Minnesota?
I think he would do great.
Eli's in Minnesota or even Kansas City. Those
Jerry Reese put a European Football League team out there for him this year.
I said, you didn't hear me. I said trade him in Jacksonville.
Yeah, but they're not a championship team. They're just not.
I don't think they need him either. Blake Bortles threw for like 95 yards last week, so they're set
we don't need
in
to,
the quarterback position.
We don't need that's going nuclear, man. We don't need to deport him from the NFL and send him to Jacksonville. I mean,
it's like relegation.
Listen, I agree that heads are going to roll at the end of the year no matter what, because I couldn't tell you a year in recent memory that the expectations were as high as they were for this franchise, and it was just a complete face-first fucking flop.
Kind of feel like I'm at it as a diehard fan myself. I just feel like the Giants are at a disadvantage going into games with the coach.
Totally. I mean, how could you not? How could you not feel that way? But listen, I don't disagree with what you're saying, Dave. Like I get the whole stay the course consistency thing. Like that's one of the things that frustrates me the most about being a Jet fan is I think they cut ties with Tannenbaum too early because he had a bad year, even though he had a plan. The Rex Ryan thing was a joke because they made a new GM inherit him. It was an absolute mess. So like I get the concept of consistency, but my point is I don't think Jerry Reese has done enough over the last couple of years to actually justify keeping him.
Okay. Yeah, listen, I don't think any Giants fan would be sad to see him go after this year. I think everyone forgets, okay, great, he was 11-5 and we lost in the first round of the playoffs. Whatever. His play calling and his decision-making during games in his first 5 games have been fucking atrocious.
Yeah. Bad is not even the word.
And that's the reason Odell got hurt. Odell's out there trying to do everything he possibly can. He's trying to do too much.
I wouldn't
They could have went out and got Joe Thomas in the offseason. He was available. They wimped out. They didn't go get him. They didn't get anybody for that O-line. They draft Ingram in the first round. That guy doesn't do anything.
I don't agree with you, but I'm not going to get into it. I think let's give the Jets their due, Jeff.
Yeah, they beat Cleveland.
Barely.
They put one drive together. I was texting my brother and a couple other Jet fans that we have on a group chat that I said one offensive drive is going to win this fucking game, and that's all it took was they had to go down the field one time and score. McCown's been exactly what you would want a veteran journeyman quarterback to be. He hasn't killed you. He's
a game manager.
A high completion percentage. And it is what it is. I mean, they're going to get waxed this week. New England's going to come in and beat the living piss out of them.
I took the Jets plus 10.
Terrible.
Wait, on what? You're not a better.
Don't worry about what I took it on.
Terrible bet. The way I look at it is, I think the Jets are going to get one more divisional win. So it'll either be at Miami or when Buffalo comes to town in a couple of weeks on a Thursday night. and then they're gonna beat the Chargers. That's it. They're gonna have 5 wins. They're gonna be 5-11 team. They have 3 wins through the first 5, and they're gonna finish with 5 wins.
Is that Chargers game in LA?
No, it's in.
No, dude. No. They've already been there once and tasted victory. They're coming back for a second bite at the apple. No pun intended.
That's fine with me. They can do that all they want. But
Fucking Phillip Rivers. How horrible. The class of 2004 quarterbacks are fucking toast. It's over.
well, we'll see. Roethlisberger looks like hot shit too. So we'll see about the Jets. I mean, right now they've certainly exceeded expectations. They've been a fun watch, which I've enjoyed. But now I think as you get past the 5-game mark, you got New England coming into your building. I think you start to see some true colors. We'll see. We'll see.
I told my wife, congrats. You got October and November back.
Well, the Yankees are still there.
That's if she wanted you back.
Well, your wife doesn't want you back because she can see her back there working in the office.
And I want you back. College football, Sean.
He's been waiting with bated. He's just so patient. And he's wearing the Cougars shirt.
Wazoo, baby.
Little backstory on that shirt? Little backstory?
No.
Sean's picks are impeccable. Sean's picks are incredible. I text him every morning on a Saturday to get his picks.
False.
Is tonight a fireside chat or no?
At a point where, checkpoint. People who weren't paying attention before, they'll catch up.
Oh no! What was
I don't have wine like Yampa.
He's like the doctor, the Diet Pepsi guy or whatever that was.
Like Max Headroom. And then suddenly it's
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You froze up, Sean.
Yeah, we missed the gold one-liner that you had there. Fireside chat.
That one's between me and me.
What do you got, bud?
Yeah, I think we're at a point now in the college football season where you've seen enough. There's enough of a sample size. The control group is set, so now we have a little better understanding of what's going on. And at this point, I kind of categorize things in a few different ways. The first, Jeff.
They are who we thought they were.
They are who they thought we were. I think there's a few teams that fall in here, some good for good reasons, some bad. Bama just continues to do their thing. They're going to. It's inevitable. Clemson, I think, is a really good team. Their defense is solid. They've been tested and haven't put up as many points as maybe we thought, but I guess that's to be expected when you lose a Deshaun Watson. But I think they are definitely who everyone thought they were.
We thought they were.
There you go. Georgia was on my list of 45 teams to watch at the beginning of the year. And
they were on your teams of 45 teams to bet on every week against the spread.
Very
fuck.
So they look real good, man. They're putting up a ton of points. Their defense nasty. And then on the opposite side, I think you look at USC and every little bit of test that they got, they've shown a little decline. So they are
who we thought they were.
I wish we had a soundbite for all these. And then you get to a different category of teams, and I call this one I think they're actually kind of could be maybe really good. Like, we don't know. They could be, maybe, actually, kind of.
You have a soundbite for that?
Well, I'm playing
fucking Instagram beefcake.
I think Washington State definitely falls into that category. They're pretty good, man. Everyone was really happy and thought their offense was all to write home about, but their D's really shown up, and that was a testament to that USC game. That was a nice win for them. They sit at 11. I think a lot of people are counting Ohio State like kind of out because they lost early, but it was a good loss to Jeff's Oklahoma Sooners.
Oh, so sad. So sad, but go ahead.
Jeff told me before the show he's now a huge Oklahoma Sooner fan.
Me and Jim Ross, right, Jim?
So we'll keep going.
Why are you such a Washington State fan, Sean?
Love Wazoo. Got to get out to Pullman, man. It's a great time.
They were your fucking closer. They were your Mo Rivera this weekend.
Whatever, yeah, Paul.
They were. TCU's looking good too. They've got a really strong offense. I think they kind of could be maybe really good. Notre Dame is a weird one, right? Like, I think everyone wrote them off.
Not yet,
because everyone wrote them off. And their only loss is to a really good Georgia team right now. So they've had slow starts. I think when you look historically at Ohio State and their really good years, they've had slow starts, first halves that haven't been what you want them to be. But then they come out and they put up points and they close games. So Notre Dame's kind of a weird one to me. Maybe they're kind of really good. I don't know. They tend to trip over the finish line. They did it with Georgia. I expected to see more of those, and they just haven't. They've been winning games, and I've been a little surprised by that.
And angry.
and
I was surprised, not to be a homer about Michigan State, but I was surprised that Michigan State could have hung in that game if they didn't have an abysmal first 8 minutes of that first quarter against Notre Dame at home. I mean, they just turned over the ball twice and went down 14 quick, and still hung around for most of the half until LJ Scott fucking fumbled like an asshole.
Go green.
Go white.
I don't necessarily understand Michigan State. This is kind of how I felt last year too, of their expectations and how they show up. They kind of float around for a little while. They give some people trouble. They give other people they don't. I have a tough time following Michigan State. I mean, good job this weekend, I guess.
Listen, the biggest takeaway from Michigan State is every 4 years Tom Izzo is going to get them into the Final Four. That's
No, the big takeaway is D'Antonio's 8-2 all time against Michigan, 4-1 in the Big House.
Whatever.
Big takeaway.
That is a big fucking takeaway, Dick. If you're a gambler.
Huge.
And then you kind of get to this weird place too, where you see a lot of teams who look really good, but you just have this kind of weird, sneaky suspicion that something's bad is just going to happen to them.
So it could be this.
Not so fast, Pat Sajak.
Something's about to happen, right? That's what we'll go with.
That's right. I didn't know we had soundbites.
You don't have to explain it, Jeff.
No, I think I can help.
But I think something bad is coming to the entire Big Ten East. It's going to happen.
Winter is coming.
Winter's coming for the Big Ten East. I think between Penn State, Michigan already got their licks. Ohio State, they're not all going to survive. They're all play each other. They're all going to beat each other up a little bit. I think actually, as much as I liked Penn State at the beginning of the year, they've shown a lot of vulnerability. And for some weird reason, I actually think Ohio State's going to sneak out and be the team to beat in the Big Ten, because Wisconsin on the west side doesn't really have to do all that much.
They can't fucking cover a spread. That's for goddamn sure.
All right.
Boom.
Penn State's got a tough 3-game stretch. They got Michigan, Ohio State, and Michigan State. That's a tough stretch right there, especially with the way Michigan State was playing.
Agreed.
No, just because you thought, you thought that would be a cupcake one,
For sure. And then there's last category that I put people in that it's they're really that bad, and that would be every public university in the state of Florida.
Ouch.
We'll go with this one.
Count the white man.
Hey, Sean, if you knew somebody you did a podcast with from time to time, and that person said to you, man, Michigan giving 6 this weekend just looks really sexy, would you think that would be a sexy move, or
who are you?
Somebody's got an itch.
I mean, I'm just hypothetically saying.
You've been riding rails too? You've been riding rails with
Yeah, we went a half an hour without some dopey.
This is completely hypothetical. Do you think Troy wins by 17 tomorrow against South Alabama?
Oh, I saw on Troy's 4-1 right now. Who'd they lose to? If they beat LSU, who'd they lose to? I have no idea.
Grambling.
Alcorn State.
Southern University.
Sean had a good college football. He had a good run this week.
But for real on that Michigan, yeah, it's pretty sexy. Okay.
I don't know.
Your laughter solidifies it.
I don't know. The Rutgers plus 2.5 at Illinois is a little tasty, but that's just me.
Rutgers is definitely better than Illinois.
It's Illinois.
I agree.
They are so bad.
This is JP. I'm going to be driving out to Illinois, and I'll be there in Blue Lot.
All 5 quarters.
Keep chopping. Down to like a 4 or 5 quarter game.
So hard on the kid. So hard.
Here's the question that we, because since we apparently can't get through a single segment without referencing cocaine, thanks to the Miami Dolphins. If you had to put money on it going into the year on any football team, so
I did.
So college college and pros, any football team in the state of Florida, some coach getting busted for cocaine, what do you think the odds would have been on Lane Kiffin?
Even.
Right. Like you would have had to like, lay more money to win, right?
I'll tell you what, his team's putting up some points, man. They're covering spreads left and right.
Go Owls.
Go Owls. Who's Michigan playing this week that you're so horny for that line?
Indiana.
Oh, that's a trap game, dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a trap for sure, by the way.
Okay.
Let me tell you what's a trap. When you've lost money all day long on college football and you're sitting in your living room alone, your wife's upstairs, and you decide that you need to bet now because it's 10:45 and you need to get first quarter bet in on the Washington Cal game because why not? You're trying to make some money back. All they needed to do was score 11 points between the two teams in the first quarter. That's it. That's all they needed to do.
You know, you want to know a bigger trap? Sending a video of you snorting cocaine to a hooker. I'd say that's a much bigger trap.
That is a trap. That is a trap.
Hey,
Miss you.
Brett,
Yes.
I'm gonna go out. I watched a lot of Michigan games. I think coming off a loss at 6.5 right now, I bet that line goes to 7.5. At
Yeah.
6.5 right now, I think it's a good bet.
What about at 6? What about if you got it at 6?
6 or 6.5 to me sounds good.
Okay.
You're not calling me to put your bets in, so who are you calling?
I didn't say I was betting. I was just saying, like, what if you got it at 6?
What the fuck?
All right, so hold on. Let's do this then.
John Anthony here, $1 billion man with $1 billion plan. From Wall Street to Tokyo to Hollywood, all your big money is going to stay and play with me. That's right. That's why they call me the $1 Million Man.
So our $1 million man has been absent from the show for a couple of weeks. We've been without this segment for a couple of weeks.
With good reason.
Let's see. You mentioned that this week wasn't so good for you. So what do you got? You have anything going on? Or
Well, I mean, I thought I was going to take a week off after this week. I was at a work event Thursday night, got a little toasty, had a few bourbons, got yelled at by my wife, and lost $360 on the Patriots second half bet.
Not good.
Not a great idea. Hopefully she's not listening.
Which means it was minus 120.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 6.5 line at halftime. They were up 6.
The Patriots have cost me money in the second half bets too.
I know. I fucking suck. All right, here we go. Let's go college football. We're going to go college football this week. Okay?
I'll get my pen and paper. I'm writing these down.
Yeah, get your pen and paper. Here's the funny thing. We don't have any.
I'm writing these down. I'm writing these down in pencil. Number 2, so I can erase them just in case.
Next week you'll be like,
Yeah. In fact, I heard you're the big winner this week, not me.
I've been hot.
Okay, well,
But
why don't you take over the segment?
No, this is all.
got
This
insider
is
info.
temporary. This isn't skill. It's temporary luck.
Okay.
Ted DiBiase, make it happen. What do we got?
We're going to go with Kansas plus 21.5 at Iowa State. Iowa State's getting a big line because they beat Oklahoma. They don't have it in back-to-back weeks. I think Charlie Weiss's corpse is still walking around Kansas.
He's still getting paid, I'll tell you that.
Kansas with the cover.
Lock it up.
Lock it. I would actually lock it down right now. I think I'm going to. We're going to go with
Hey, white man, I would leave that one off the sheet.
Oh, that one's not on the sheet?
Well, Yampo, you got to give your high conviction play.
Okay,
your
my
10 unit,
all right.
20 unit.
Well, I'm going to switch to the NFL for my high conviction play. My high conviction play is Jacksonville Jaguars home 2.5 against the LA Rams.
Minus 2.5.
Blake Bortles is going to throw for 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, but Leonard Fournette's going to have 3 rushing touchdowns. Okay, last but not least, Kansas City Chiefs. They've been a winner for me all year.
I got this one too.
Minus 4.5 at home against the Steelers. Pittsburgh is on the ropes. Roethlisberger's not sure if he's going to play anymore. I see the white man writing this one down. Go big, go often, or go home. This is your winner. 4.5 lock, Kansas City. There it is. Kansas plus 20.5. Jags minus 2.5, 4 net. And the Steelers losing.
Are you going to parlay all that?
I think I might. That would be one hell of a parlay when it's over Saturday afternoon and when Kansas gets blown out by 40. I had a monster parlay a couple weeks ago, J-Dubs, and it was 100 to win 1,000. and I
Wow.
lost the first game, and I hit the other 3 in the
Oh my
afternoon and the
God.
evening. It was infuriating.
That sounds awesome.
Fucking Wisconsin.
You're really making a name for yourself on this.
I know.
show.
Well, so let me give you the
All I've heard is lost.
Yeah, let me give you the season ticker. We're at the bank account's at minus 625. And
Oh, you haven't paid me for this past win.
no, I haven't gotten paid from the bookie yet, but once that comes in, you get it. Oh yeah, because Sean is the big winner with a nice 3-game parlay that he won't talk about on air because he's fucking savage.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, if that really did happen, you should definitely try to double it up.
Nah, he's not gonna do that because he's not a better. We actually bet Cheerios. This was hypothetical.
Last call. Alcohol. So what you need? One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
All right, it's time for last call, boys.
That's actually the problem last Thursday. I had 1 scotch, 1 bourbon, and a beer times 5.
That's kind of how it works. You know, it's like a trip down to see Sean at a college football game.
Next thing you know, you're catching the early flight home from San Diego.
You got nothing. You can't even finish the quote. It would have been a good call if you had.
I know. I couldn't finish it.
I think what my friend's trying to say is love is blind.
This Sauvignon Blanc's got me buzzing.
I'm not a talker.
Savi B.
Let's go to Sean. Sean, you got anything for last call tonight?
He's got a drunk wife in the office.
Oh, that's just aggressive.
I guess that's my last call.
The return of the white man. What do you got, man, for last call?
Okay, I just thought about this. The big deal tomorrow with
Jesus.
the game going tomorrow. The Cubs game tomorrow. Strasburg gets the start, I believe. It's
No.
not official.
Tanner Rourke.
He's still going to start.
Yeah.
That's what they're
Okay,
saying.
so that's if Tanner Rourke starts the game, I think the Cubs win. Win big, convincingly. And number 2, with gambling, not that I do it, but I've learned valuable lessons from being friends of people that do. Gambling is not the games that you win; it's the games that you stay away from. That's how you
Sometimes
win.
the best bet is the one you don't
Sage
make.
advice.
So you're telling me when I'm
Sage
sitting on the couch at 10:45, at 10:41, looking for some kind of first quarter bet to make up some money, it's not a good idea?
I think that we might be related in some way mentally because I have the same. I've been on a dance floor. I was once at a dance floor in Chicago with my wife like 4 years ago while we were dancing with the DJ on, and I'm placing a bet to try to get the Hawaii game in.
I don't blame you.
And I lost, by the way.
I feel like for that segment there, I needed like that old school, like the more you know jingle that I could, like
with the rainbow,
stupid rainbow and the star.
Cast to say by the bell, like gambling is
You
dangerous.
guys are definitely like cosmically connected because I get the same text from both of you at the same time every Saturday morning.
Who you like? Who do you like?
The best part is he gives John his real advice and he gives Yampo the.
Oh, that's fucked
I
up.
just asked Sean for the highest conviction play. Because if you go to Spread Forum and you look at the thing, my last comment, if you go to Spread Forum and you look up Maddox, they have their picks for the week. And I've been looking at these picks for probably 10 years now. And the 10-unit picks are 50-50. The 20-unit pick is probably 70 to 80% on college football. So, like, that's why I say when somebody gives me a good pick, I say, what's the highest conviction?
You're speaking a different language. Yampo, last call. What do you got?
The Lynx, WNBA champions, just the way that Brett called it.
He did call that early in the year, I think.
Yeah,
That
he
was
bet
my-
on
that was-
that.
they were my preseason pick.
Yeah, the Lynx were actually plus 1,300 to win the WNBA championship. So congrats on that bet.
Yeah,
Wow.
thank you.
That's good. Brett, last call.
Edwin Encarnacion in tomorrow for Cleveland. So adds another element to that lineup.
What's he
to be-
playing? Is he just hitting? Is he DHing?
I don't know. He believes he'll be in the lineup. So he said there's no tomorrow.
Yankees
But
are
there
plus-
actually is a tomorrow. Tomorrow's the game.
Yankees are
So
plus
it's-
165.
Ooh.
Hey,
Don't
Brett.
bet on baseball. Yes, Sean.
Luck is hard work residue.
Perfect. I just found my cap. Perfect.
You know, when you say it like that, it actually reminds like I think if you're hold on, say it one more time. Say it one more time.
I'm not falling into this trap.
No, I'm not. I'm so far away from the keyboard. Say it one more time.
Nope.
Come on.
All right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Luck is hard work leaving the body.
No fear. Right?
That
You
was-
can't tell me that wouldn't be like a 1992 No Fear T-shirt that somebody would have been walking around.
Oh yeah.
Luck is hard luck. Ah, fuck.
Must be a lady.
Beautiful segue out, David.
Savi B for the win.
Solid ending. Hey, listen, my last call. Tom Brady expected to play despite a left shoulder injury. So
Oh, really? Like you thought someone else was going to play?
it's really nice of the Patriots to disclose the injury because
Not till tomorrow. Don't have to do it till tomorrow.
well, we know that they're not exactly on the up and up, so it's good.
Hey, I actually have one more last call.
Yeah, do it.
Oh boy.
Is there any chance that Andrew Wiggins could win the 2017-2018 NBA MVP at plus 7,500?
Absolutely not.
Hey, I have one more last call.
Yes, Columbo.
No, I'm making fun of every single other person on the
Oh,
panel.
by the way,
Just one more.
Hey, white man, good to see you on the panel, buddy. You are living proof that listeners can join in on this fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where can you find us, Jeff?
You can find us on lowandoutside.com. If you're following us on social media, we're Low Outside Sport on Twitter. Our Snapchat, I don't know what it is, but apparently it's lit, even though it's not.
So lit.
Super not. That's about all we got. So thanks for taking the time, everybody. Share away. Make sure that everybody knows what we're doing.
And if you haven't listened to an episode, you should listen to two of them,
Like
sequential
Concurrently.
like back to back.
and a belly to belly. That fucking Instagram beefcake.
Desperandum, dear lady. Across the desert lies the promised land. Goodbye, Mrs. Gloop. You, auf Wiedersehen, Gesundheit, farewell.
Fare thee well to you, my own true love. River Mercy, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place that I know right well. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee.